Good morning, everybody. Oh, good afternoon. Sorry. We do have very special guests here with us today to talk a little bit about the outside world. But the outside world is slowly creeping into middle school and all of the other schools around here. Now that we are eighth grade, we are moving where next year? High school. That's just a little bit closer to you moving out into the real world, right? A lot of us in high school are going to end up getting jobs. A lot of us are going to be looking into universities and colleges. So this is the time where we actually need to help prepare ourselves and to prepare each other. Okay, so today they're going to be talking about some things that we see probably in our villages, in our communities, sometimes at school, and maybe even at home. So while they are presenting today, let's go ahead and give them some courtesy and some respect, especially to our students and our classmates that may be experiencing these things there, right? We don't know what's going on in each other's houses or in each other's villages or on their street. Okay, so let's at least be respectful of what information they have to provide for us. I know that we see all of these signs and we've never really had something like this before. So give them some time to explain what their point of view and their message is trying to be. Am I understood? Yes? So we do have a very, very big familiar face with us today. Does anybody know who he is? No.
What a shame.
Moylan? Douglas? And what does he do? All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and give him the time to introduce himself and those that are with him. Okay, so can we go ahead and have a round of applause for them? Welcome them up.
All right, thank you. And let's give Miss Santos a round of applause as well. All right. Anyone here in Miss Santos's class or have taken her class? Not a lot of you guys, huh? Miss Santos was my classmate back at UOG. Yeah. So, is she a great teacher? She's an awesome teacher. I know she's an awesome teacher. All right. Good afternoon, Voyagers. You guys are all eighth graders. And as Miss Santos mentioned, right, you guys are all about to head to high school. We are from the Office of the Attorney General of Guam. We have a very special guest with us today, right? The Attorney General himself. But let me just go ahead and get some questions thrown out so that we can make this a better learning experience for all of us. Does anyone know what an attorney does in this room? Anyone want to give a shot? What do you think an attorney does? An attorney, a lawyer, same words, same definition. Well, really, we're law enforcers, right? We're in charge of putting the bad guys in jail. We have our latest billboard here on the right-hand side here. The Attorney General is going to talk about that. Basically, we're the toughest law enforcers. We're out here to protect you guys. Your teachers have invited us to talk about some very specific topics. And I want to be able to get through all of that before the school day ends. And so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little warm up. Just get everybody's little icebreaker. Can I have everybody raise their left hand up high? Left hand. Is that your left? Look at your party on your left, your right. Is that his left arm? All right, that's your left. All right, I want you to raise your right hand with your left hand up high. All right, and give yourself a round of applause for waking up this morning, showing up to school, right? Getting ready to learn. Everyone's warmed up, everyone's ready. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and hand the microphone for his welcoming remarks, the Attorney General of Guam, Mr. Douglas B. Moylan. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hi. Half a day, everybody. So, I am the person that your parents voted for 2 years ago. And the lawyer, like Austin was mentioning, is we go to school like you guys are going to school in order to understand the law, right? The law, you guys know about regulations, right? You're not supposed to do certain things. You're supposed to do certain things. That's what we do as attorneys with Grant Olan. He's a prosecutor. He's the type of person that when you don't follow the law, he's the one that goes in and, along with my other attorneys and myself, take you before a judge and a jury. Does anybody know what a jury is? Right, they're the people that sit in judgment of all of you if you break the law. And so that's why you guys don't want to break the law, because you don't want to be in judgment. That's what this billboard, if you saw the big one, we call this the miniature billboard, the medium size. Those 50 people on this billboard, our team, including Mr. Olan, Prosecutor Olan, took them before your parents, and your parents said that these people broke the law and that they should be put in jail, because that's what the senators said, that when you break the law, you got to go to jail, right? Does anybody know how long the Attorney General stays in office? How many years? 4 years. So the Attorney General, your parents elect an Attorney General to protect you for 4 years. And when we follow the law, we protect you. That's how we operate in the United States of America, right? Anybody know what branch of government the Attorney General is in? Haven't heard it yet. What? Executive branch. So what did they teach you guys? The executive branch does what? What does the executive branch do? They enforce the law. So that's what, but we practice before the judicial branch, which is interpreting the law, right? And which branch makes the laws? Legislative. Right. So we got 3 branches of government, and we're in the executive branch, but we're the ones that oversee everybody in our community to make sure that you're all safe. Okay? And also contracts. You know how to buy things, your school buses, your school, the things that are in here. You have an attorney that normally has to help the government officials in purchasing things, right? Procurements and stuff like that. So we have 3 topics we're going to talk about today. Prosecutor Olan and myself will be presenting some information to you, but I really want you guys to ask questions, okay? So that this is going to be important for you. You had a question? A prosecutor is the one that takes the criminal laws, and when the police arrest you, they look at the criminal laws and decide whether or not you broke the law. Like when you're driving and you've drunk alcohol, that's a violation, right? You're not supposed to drink alcohol and drive. So when the police arrest you, they take you to the AG's office, and then the AG's office decides whether or not we should take you into court. We start the case. They call it beginning the criminal justice system. Without the Attorney General's office, without my prosecutors, without your parents electing me, there are no cases that get filed in the courts, because the judge cannot start a case. It has to be the executive branch through the Attorney General's office. So, having said that, let's start with our program.
All right, let's go ahead and give Attorney General a round of applause. We're going to start with our program. Again, we will be talking about 3 topics, and who in here loves prizes? Dang, not everyone likes prizes. How about you guys? You guys don't want prizes? Can anyone see where Eric the Eagle is? Point at him. Where is he? Is he back there? Where is he? He's right there. Eric the Eagle has prizes for you guys if you guys can answer the questions that I will ask after each presentation. So it's very important that you guys are paying attention, right? When the speakers are up here, giving them their full attention so you can answer the questions that I'm going to ask. Okay? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and call up for our first presentation on the topic of school violence. Who here loves to fight? No one better be fighting here, right? I'm going to go ahead and call up Assistant Chief Prosecutor Grant Olan to talk to you guys about school violence and minors being charged as adults. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Austin. Hello, everyone. Half a day. You're a very lively crowd, so that's great. Again, my name is Grant Olan. I'm a prosecutor, criminal prosecutor with the Attorney General's office. I want this to be interactive. I don't want to just talk at you, so I'm going to go around and randomly ask some of you questions, like you, sir. What is school violence? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Fighting, yes, that's a form of school violence. In fact, I heard something about a fight earlier today, if I recall correctly. What's that about? All right, I don't know the details of it, but that's not good. And we'll talk about why. Why is that not good? Why is it not good to get into school fights?
Because you might go to jail.
You might go to jail. That's very true. You could get arrested. No one wants to be arrested. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. What are some other consequences of getting into fights? Anyone? Suspension? What? Second? Wait, what was it? Suspension? Get hurt? That's true. You could get hurt, get injured. Yeah.
You get put in sword.
Oh, okay. Is he trying to? It looks like he's trying to hide. I don't think he wants to answer the question. That's fine. But those community service, yeah, those are all consequences of getting into school fights or engaging in school violence. And school violence is simply when we get into fights or bully other students or sexually harass others. All of that is forms of school violence. And there are lots of reasons that school violence is not good. It could obviously lead to, if you're the perpetuator, the offender, the person who committed the school violence, it could result in your arrest or school suspension. You certainly don't want a conviction, a criminal record, because that could have long-term consequences. Just a little bit of background. Anyone who's younger than 18 generally is protected under the law from being a criminal defendant, but there are exceptions to that. There's different kind of crimes based on the severity of the crime. You have felonies and misdemeanors. Within felonies, you have first-degree felony, a second-degree felony, and a third-degree felony. A first-degree felony would be like murder or homicide or even a criminal sexual conduct case, whereas lesser forms of felonies or misdemeanors might be simple theft or burglary. If you commit a second or a first-degree felony, those are exceptions to that protection I was talking about, meaning that you could actually get charged as an adult for first-degree and second-degree felonies. And none of you want that because, again, if you are convicted of felonies, then that's going to follow you around the rest of your life, so it'll impact your civil rights, your ability to vote, benefits, government benefits that could affect a lot of things that you, and also your job opportunities. So obviously it's in your interest to be good students, to be good peers, to be good to each other, to your teachers. Of course, none of us here want to be, we don't want to be victims ourselves, right? I personally believe in the idea of the golden rule. Who knows what the golden rule is? What's the golden rule? That's exactly right. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's it. If you live by that rule, you're going to have a pretty good life, I think, because I'm a firm believer that in the idea that you'll have a good life if you treat others with respect and with dignity. I actually see the words on the wall in the back there. It says, be safe, be respectful, be responsible. Those are actually good, those are good motto. That's a good motto to live by. So, school violence, good or bad? That's right. School violence is bad. Committing crimes, good or bad? Bad, yes. Doing drugs, good or bad? Bad. I actually remember just a few years ago that I was, just like you, on this floor, listening to speakers, people from the government, law enforcement, police officers, talk to me about what government is, about the very things that don't do drugs, about the very things we're talking about today. And these are really important things because, again, all of us have dreams and ambitions and aspirations, and you don't want to get in trouble with the law because that'll just stunt your dreams. If you have a problem with someone else, or if you see someone actually, if you see someone who's targeting someone else, bullying someone else, what are some things you can do to deal with that situation? Anyone? Tell the teacher. Report them, yes. Tell a teacher, report them. Tell the principal. Or tell them to stop, stand up for your friends, for other students. Absolutely. These are all things you can do. What you don't want to do is engage and participate in the violence. And there's lots of, there's other reasons too. But the main thing here, the main takeaway is that there's responsible ways to deal with situations when you see problems, and it's not to gauge. It's rather to report, and if you do that, that discourages violence, because the more that we engage in violence, the more it perpetuates violence. And we want to create an atmosphere that is welcoming for everyone, where everyone feels respected, and where everyone feels safe, and that means being responsible. So, how am I doing on time here? Oh, I wanted to just point out one other thing. So, tell me, what do you want to do when you grow up?
In the military?
You want to join the military? Okay. How about you, ma'am?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's fine. You, sir? What do you want to do when you grow up?
Firefighter.
You want to be a firefighter? That's a great... Yes.
I want to be a surgeon.
A surgeon. Okay. All right. Those are all really great things. And I want you to achieve those things and to achieve your dreams. Just a little bit about me. I'm from Chicago. Does anyone know where Chicago is? Yes? Does anyone know any famous sport teams from Chicago? Who? The Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan. I've seen Michael Jordan play the last year of his professional basketball career with the Chicago Bulls at the United Center in Chicago. So yes, I'm from Chicago. I never planned on becoming a criminal prosecutor, even attorney, lawyer. This is actually my 5th career change. I've done a lot of things in my life, and I'm telling you this because it's okay not to know what you want to do. Try other things out. Nothing wrong with that until you finally find what it is, what your calling is. And if you do know what you want to do, that's great too. Don't give up your dreams for anything, for anyone, for anything. It's important that you know if there's something you want to do, you can do it. You can achieve it. You can achieve it. And there will be setbacks, for sure, but never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams. And I'll tell you one thing. If you get into trouble, you get in trouble at school, and certainly if you get in trouble with the law, that could hamstring or kneecap your dreams. And I don't want that for any of you. I want all of you to reach your full potential, to be able to have a good, successful life, to reach for the stars and achieve your dreams. That is my wish for all of you here. So I wish all of you the best of luck, success, and thank you for having us and this opportunity to get to meet with you and speak with you. It's great to be here. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you. And great job. Again, Grant is our assistant chief prosecutor from our general crimes division. Yeah, he's a really nice guy, but he's good at putting bad guys in jail. So, he's seeing you guys now as middle schoolers. Hopefully he doesn't see you guys as adults one day, right? Anybody want to meet Grant when you're in your 20s? Probably not. Maybe like at a Kmart, but not in a courtroom, right? Okay, as I mentioned, if you pay attention, you get a prize from Eric the Eagle. Can anyone see where Eric the Eagle is? He's right there. All right, he has some goodies for you guys. But I need you guys to answer some questions for me, some takeaways from the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and call on someone. All you need to do is raise your hand. And if you answer the question correctly, you get a prize from Eric over here. Okay, why don't you come on over here, Eric. All right, let's start with the back of the room because you guys are awfully quiet back here. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. I'm going to go ahead and ask the question. I want one of you guys to give me one way you could stop school violence in your school. Okay, you got an answer. All right, go ahead and stand up. Okay, you stand up. You're going to go ahead and tell us what your name is, and you're going to tell us what's one way you can stop school violence here at your school. Say your name first.
Kobe to Top.
Okay, Kobe, what's one way to stop school violence at your school?
By by
Okay, all right, Kobe. Let's say there's a fight going on in front of you. Your best friend just punched someone else. What's the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna take out your phone? No, that's a separate conversation the general's gonna have. But what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna tell a school aide.
You're gonna tell a school aide. All right, Kobe's correct. You're gonna tell a trusted adult. All right. All right, guys. Very important. All right. Calm down. All right. Yes, telling a trusted adult is always the best course of action when anything goes wrong right in front of you, right? We're all minors, right? Well, not me. You guys are all minors. Better to always tell a trusted adult, your teacher, a school aide, your school principal. All right, I'm gonna go to this side of the room. You guys know we're the Attorney General's office. We're out enforcing the laws. I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question. Again, go in the back of the room. All right. What are some consequences for those who commit school violence? All right, you, young girl over there. All right, stand up. I don't know how I'm gonna make my way over there. I'm gonna go ahead and hand you the microphone.
I'm Chloe, and a consequence is that you could get suspended or even get the police called on you.
Great job. Yes, you can get suspended. Who wants to get suspended? You want to be suspended? No. Okay. I thought you said you wanted to get suspended. No one wants to get suspended, right? You could get suspended, you could get expelled, and really, you could end up in a courtroom one day. You know, these little things that you do in school, they spill into your adult life. And so that's all the more reason why we're here today. We have another topic that's very relevant to you guys, and that is the topic of cyberbullying. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and call up the Attorney General of Guam, Douglas Mullen, to talk to you guys about that. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay, guys, we're halfway through this, okay? So, does anybody understand what cyberbullying is? What is cyberbullying? What is your name? Josiah. What is cyberbullying? I think that kind of encompasses it. How many of you guys own a cell phone or how many own a cell phone? Okay, it's not even half here. How many own a iPad? Are you guys allowed to bring cell phones and iPads into the schools? Okay, so I'll take that as a yes. You're allowed to bring a cell phone or an iPad into school. Does anybody know, all you guys were born in the time of the internet, right? Obviously. I was not born in the time of the internet. I grew into the internet in the 1990s. That's when they started having the internet, right? So tell me, what are the two most powerful things about the internet? What? Close. Okay, right there. There's two things. The first one is communication. The second is information. That is the two most powerful things of the internet. Cyberbullying talks about harassment, intimidation, and bullying. It talks about the communication part of the power of your cell phone. It gives you the ability to not just talk like I am in this room. It gives you the ability to talk through the entire world, through your social medias, through your ability to communicate. That is very powerful. In the olden days, there was no way to talk to people the way that you guys, literally children, can talk to the world. That is the danger and the power that you guys now have in your hands with these little devices, okay? It's wrong to hurt other people. That is why we talk about respect. If you guys have anything to remember from the Attorney General's office coming here today, through your entire life, remember, you respect one another, and you will not be seeing a judge or be judged by a jury. Okay? When you respect somebody, you're not going to be spreading rumors about them, about nasty things, untrue things, hurting people, because we're human, right? Everybody has emotions. That's what bullying is about. You're using your social media, you're using your devices in order to spread information, and it could even be the truth about somebody, but you're hurting them. Okay? You don't have to be a lawyer to understand that. Each one of you knows how you can hurt somebody else. Is that respect? No. It's not respect. What I would say to you, too, is like if there was a fight, the best thing for the guys to do is to defend the weak. That is what it means to have respect, to go out and help people and not to hurt them. Easily said, but throughout your life, you're going to be put in different situations when you can hurt somebody or you can choose not to hurt somebody because you respect them. It's the golden rule that Prosecutor Grant talked about. Treat them as you would have them treat yourself, okay? That's part of that. So understand that when you're bullying somebody, when you're saying things nasty, doesn't have to be a lie, but you just want to out them, you want them to feel bad, you can get into trouble. That idea of bullying, harassing people by using the devices that your parents may be giving you that you may have earned. And it doesn't have to be the cell phone, the iPad. It can be the computers, anything that you guys would be using on a device. You can get kicked out of school for that. You can get your parents to be picking you up because the principal has found something online that you guys put there. Do you guys realize that you put stuff online, you'll never be able to take it off, right? It's like there's no takebacks. When you post stuff on social media, you may try to delete it, but there's probably some server that somebody can grab what you said about them or said about other people from that server. That's why you should be very careful when you use your devices in order to communicate. Okay? Do you guys have other questions about cyberbullying? Mr. Olan talked about how you don't want things to go on your record. Do you guys understand what that means? What your record means? In family court, because you guys are all minors, usually up until 18 years old, because you guys are minors up until 18 years old, if you commit most of the wrongs, the crimes we call it, you go to family court, you see a judge, and it's closed, your parents get brought in, and then the judge decides what to do with you. Usually they try to help you, okay? But there's certain crimes, especially when you start turning 16. Are any of you 16 yet? Once you hit 16, like Ms. Santos was talking about, your high school years, can any of you be charged as an adult? Exactly, you can. And it started many years ago, I still remember it, when a minor under 18 years old went up to a police car and shot 2 officers and killed them. That's why our community said that even if you're a minor, there's certain crimes that our community, our people, will not tolerate. And you can be put in jail for the rest of your life, even at 16. Okay? So that's why when you go back to that rule of respect, you may not know if some things are crimes, some things aren't crimes, but when you respect somebody, that's usually a good rule and that will protect you from committing a crime. Okay? So, do you have questions? Ms. Santos. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay, very good. So, what you're, I'm sorry, Ms. Lujan. Oh, thank you, Ms. Lujan, and thank you for having us here. So, your principal is talking about one of the more important things. What are the consequences of cyberbullying? For your purposes, the immediate consequence would be after Ms. Lujan and your teachers and the people that you may have hurt from cyberbullying are all questioned, if you're found to have harassed or intimidated or bullied another student or somebody else, you could be kicked out of school. Okay, that's the most severe consequence. And what is the key to success in life? Education. That is the key to your success between whether or not you're going to be a homeless person or whether or not you're going to be able to afford your power, your water, your house, your car, a girlfriend, children, things like that. Okay? So that's why it's so important that you stay in school, and cyberbullying is one of the things that will get you kicked out of school. Okay? Logistically, what's going to happen is they're probably going to call in the juvenile police. They call it the Guam Police Department has the juvenile investigation officers, and they would start investigating you. You could possibly get DYA if it's connected with other things, but I mean, the idea is that you're in trouble, right? Now, if you were to, like the guys out there, if you were to sexually harass one of the girls or another guy or something like that, that will get you the Guam Police Department coming over, and that will get you potentially taken over to the AG's office, and then the AG's office would take you in before Judge Ingalls, who's the family court judge, okay? And with the family court, that's your parents are going to be brought in, the victim's going to be brought in, and then the judge may put you at the Department of Youth Affairs. Does anybody know what DYA is? You're asking too many questions. Hold on. Anybody else know what DYA is? Yes. Speak up. Right, what is it? What is the Department of Youth Affairs? Right. It's a place, they call the Department of Corrections, those guys over there on that billboard, those 50 that are there, they went to the Department of Corrections. Does anybody know where that is? Manilao. It's in Manilao, guys. DYA is also in Manilao, but it's a separate facility for children under 18 years old. So, consequences, right? Bad act gets you a bad consequence. This is not where you guys want to start thinking. You guys want to start thinking about how to get your scholarships, how to get on the National Junior Honor Society, how to get into the National Honor Society when you guys are in high school. This is where you guys should be aspiring to. And when you're talking about whether or not you want to spread rumors on social media about your friends, your enemies, that's where you are. You're on the bottom. You don't want to be on the bottom, right? And these fights that you guys we're hearing about, that will get you at the DYA and get you at the AG's office, okay? So don't touch anybody and that are in need of help. But most especially, go to your teachers, your parents. Use the adults in order to keep you out of trouble. What's on your records, by the way, what Mr. Olin was talking about, that record thing, that will prevent you from getting a good job. If your employer knows that you were picked up because you were taking drugs or that you were driving your car while you were drinking alcohol and the police picked you up, or the AG's office charged you with a crime, and then the jury convicted you, it's when you get convicted that it goes on a record at Guam Police Department, and when they tell you, get a police clearance, you ever hear that, the police clearance? It shows up, your conviction. And even the arrest can show up on your police clearance. And remember also, the military You don't have a right to go into the military. A military is a good job. You serve the country. If you're a meth addict, if you're a drug addict, they're not going to watch you. Who would give a gun to a meth addict? So this is why you guys need to understand, protect your record, your criminal record, they call it. You want to have a police clearance that has outstanding, no arrests, no convictions. You have that opportunity now, right now, to do that, to maintain your good name, make your parents proud. Okay? So hitting that A honor roll, getting into these societies, joining sports, doing things positive in your life will have results as you get older. Okay? And by the way, even trying to be an attorney, if you try to be an attorney and somehow it gets on your permanent record that you sexually abused a girl or a guy or something, they're not going to really want to get you in as an attorney, because you need to ask to be an attorney to a association, the Guam Supreme Court on Guam. And when they see a record that has all these problems on it, how would the Guam Supreme Court want you to become a lawyer when you're a bad person and you have to have a client that trusts you? Or especially if you've stolen money. The Supreme Court wouldn't be a lawyer if you're a thief, because they'd be worried that when you have a client that comes to you for help and gives you money in order to help them, you take their money. That's not what a lawyer does. So these are the type of issues, guys, that you have to think about. Cyberbullying is just one of the hurting your record, your criminal record, those sorts of things, okay? And it goes back to that word respect. You respect people, you're not going to abuse this. This is one of the most powerful things in this country right now, this century, this life that we have, is the ability to communicate and the ability to get knowledge from the internet. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney Jarmuel. Let's give him a round of applause. All right. Yes. Your phones are powerful, right? But it's very important you guys use it wisely. We talked about the consequences, but we also need to realize, right? We need to be able to recognize cyberbullying, and those are the questions I'm going to ask. You see Eric there. He's going to give you guys prizes. If you guys could really help me answer this question. Is the situation I'm talking about cyberbullying or not? So I'm going to read a situation. I'm going to call on someone, and you're just going to tell me, is this cyberbullying or is it not? Now, if it is cyberbullying, what should you do? This is not a question to forget prizes, but what should you do? Everyone should know this already. You should report. You should tell a trusted adult. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell a parent, tell a cop, tell your doctor. They're mandatory reporters. They're required to help you out. They can help you out. So I'm going to go ahead and read a situation. I'm going to go on this side because I don't think I've called on anyone here. So a classmate, you are playing, what's the games that kids play nowadays? Call of Duty? You guys play COD on your phone? All right, PUBG. Let's say you're playing PUBG, Call of Duty, Minecraft, whatever it is, during lunch, and they start using hurtful words to describe you after you lost one game. The person seemed frustrated about your team's loss. Should you report him for cyberbullying, yes or no? Okay. Let's go, stand up. You don't want to stand up? Okay, Alice, tell us. Should you report him for cyberbullying, yes or no?
Because it's just a game.
No, because it's just a game. Yes, that is the correct answer. It is no. She gets the prize. Great job there. Let's give her a round of applause. It's just a game, but one more very important thing is for it to count as cyberbullying, right? There's a criteria in the law. It has to be deliberate, has to be repeated, and it's intended to harm you, whether it's physically, emotionally, all those things, right? Again, but the key word there is repeated. Now that lead situation here, and hopefully you guys are able to use this as a model when you need to recognize cyberbullying. Let's say your best friend is being made fun of by a group of mean students in your school. They're making mean comments about her looks on her Instagram page, all of her posts. That's mean, right? That's mean. You guys are so excited. Let me finish my story, you guys. They're using fake accounts. Sounds familiar? They're using fake accounts. Is this cyberbullying? Yes or no? I need to call one person. I'm going to go ahead and call on you. All right. Is this situation cyberbullying? Yes or no? And why? You should know why by now.
It is because you're bullying.
You're bullying? I did describe to what makes it cyberbullying. It has to be what? That's intended to harm, and it has to also be deliberate and repeated, right? Let's give her a round of applause. She got it. Yes. And again, very important. When you see it, you need to say something. Even if they're using fake accounts, they can be held accountable. And we at the Attorney General's office are all about holding people accountable, even minors. So very important that, again, as the Attorney General said, bad actions lead to bad consequences. You're better off not doing it. And we have another topic, another bad action that you might do, and we encourage you not to do it. I'm going to go ahead and call up again the Attorney General to discuss with you guys the topic of substance abuse and meth kills. All right, let's give him a round of applause.
Okay, boys and girls, now we're going to talk about something that you guys have been exposed to a certain extent, okay? Taking drugs. Is taking drugs bad? Yes. No, it's not. No. You need to define what type of drugs, right? Because that's why we have doctors, that's why we have lawyers, doctors. Doctors prescribe drugs, a pharmacist issues them, right? When you're feeling sick, when you've got some virus or bacteria, they give you drugs, right? It's a prescription, you go see the doctor, right? Those drugs are licensed, they're acceptable, they're the type that are supposed to get you better, right? So when somebody says, is taking drugs illegal? No, it's not. It depends on what type of drug. Now, obviously, when you say taking drugs, most people automatically think it's illegal drugs, right? It's the drugs that you're not supposed to take because we all know that certain drugs do not help you, and they actually not just hurt you, which is your body, your organs inside your body, everybody has them, but it causes you to hurt other people. That's what the danger of taking illegal drugs, okay? Can anybody name some illegal drugs? Yes. Amphetamine, yes, methamphetamine. Sorry? Marijuana. Cocaine. What? Oxycodone? That's pretty complex for you. Yes. Okay, so you guys got the idea, right? You got the idea that taking these type of drugs are not supposed to be done, and that, does anybody know if most of them, other than marijuana, does anybody know if it's, Mr. Olan talked about misdemeanors and felonies. Misdemeanors, they can put you in jail for up to 1 year. Felonies, it's over a year. All these drugs that you guys mentioned, other than marijuana, is it a misdemeanor or felony? How long would you go and be put in jail? Felony. It's a felony to take those drugs that you guys were talking about. And what I want to focus on now, boys and girls, is meth. Okay? You guys have heard that name. It's methamphetamine, and that is the drug that I really want to focus upon, because I think that you guys are going to be exposed to it either now or as you guys move into high school. Methamphetamine is one of the worst drugs that was created by mankind and specifically tailored in order to create an addiction. You guys know what addiction means? Yes. What is addiction? Yes. Sorry? But you can't stop doing something. Can't stop. That's part of it. An addiction is where you cannot no longer control yourself. What happens when you can't control yourself? You keep doing it because you think in your brain that you need to take it, because if you don't have it, then you're starting to go into a frame of mind of wanting it, needing, thinking you need it, and then actually you take enough meth, your body will start to need it. Do you guys read the newspapers? Do you look at social media? Do you read the news? What's going on in the world? What's going on Guam? Do you guys read all the police officers pulling over those cars on the side of the road and then reading exactly what the police officers are seeing? Can some of you describe what the meth addicts they're noticing when they pull them over? Okay, yeah. These comments over here, itching, when they go up to the operator of the car and they're seeing them scratch their face, and they keep scratching their face, they question them, they talk to them, and they're talking about different things and not able to answer the question. They call it delusional. Their brains are in a different state of mind. It's like when you talk to somebody and they're not responding to you and they're talking about something else. Why are the police pulling them over in the first place? Driving crazy. That's all along this idea that once you start taking meth, you start becoming delusional, that you're not seeing the road anymore. You don't even know that you're driving. You're swerving the car. That's what the police are pulling you over for. But when they pull you over, they're realizing it's worse than just a person in the car. What else? Exactly. They find a gun. Why do they find firearms in the car? What? They find the firearm because usually the meth addicts are going to your house that night in order to take what you have in order to buy what? Meth. So this is the type of behavior what we're finding at the Attorney General's office. This is why it's so important that each one of you, because of the good work that my team is doing, the prisons are overcrowded. They're overcrowded with meth addicts because the police are catching them, the judges are understanding that they're meth addicts, and your parents, the juries, are putting them in jail because you need to separate the meth addict from the rest of us because they will hurt us. Okay? So does anybody know what it does? Because I'm talking about what it does to you, what a meth addict can do to you. You know, other people, by hurting people. But what does it do to each one of you as you start taking meth? It messes with your brain, and more especially, it starts to deteriorate your body. Your teeth start falling out. Does anybody know which part of your body is going to be most affected by meth? Okay, guys, we only have a limited amount of time left. Your buses are going to be here pretty soon. The thing that hurts your body most about meth is your heart. You guys ever hear about meth addicts not being able to sleep? That's because their blood pressure, their heart keeps pumping. They can't go to sleep. They're up for 48 hours. They're going out in the streets looking for property so they can sell it in order to give the meth addict, the meth dealer, money so they can buy more meth. That is the type of people, and these are real photos, by the way, of meth addicts. It slowly deteriorates your body and eventually kills you. It will kill you eventually. In your 30s, a lot of people die in their 30s after years of meth addiction, but if you take too much of it, you're going to die anyways. They call it overdose. Does anybody know what an overdose first looks like? What does it first look like when you take too much meth or drugs? You start going to sleep. you go to sleep and you never wake up again. You ever hear of Matthew Perry? It was ketamine. He took ketamine. And what did that do to him? He went to sleep and he drowned in his pool. That's what happens when you're under drugs. So because we're going after all these meth addicts, they're taking away the business from the meth dealers. What does a meth dealer who sells it do when he loses all his customers? He goes after more customers. And guess who's his next customers? You guys. So you guys got to be very careful and understand that crystal and that powder. If ever you guys see anyone in your school trying to give it away, trying to make you a meth addict, because they're going to give it away first, and once you're addicted, they're going to start to sell you it. They're no longer going to give it to you free because your brain will be so addicted to it that you'll do anything in order to get that. Now remember too, guys, this vaping that's going on, this, what is that called? It's the nicotine. I've been hearing from your teachers, and we've seen it in other schools. Don't take these things that hurt your bodies. You guys will be growing until you're like 25, okay? In order to go to college, you need to focus, you need to remember things. It affects your brain, whether it's nicotine or any alcohol. Alcohol is a drug, just like meth is. It's not as addictive, but it's the same effects. It damages your brain. So you guys at your ages, you need to start looking at, continue with your nutrition, you're eating the good foods. Your energy drinks, you guys should stay away from that because it has a high and then it goes to a low. That's the type of conversation we're having, guys. Be careful of anyone and turn them in. And any of you that have parents that are on drugs, and we're getting a lot of those complaints at the AG's office, you need to turn your parents in. You need to talk to the principal. You need to call the police, call family members that you trust, because it will save your parents' lives. We've seen kids that come to school, they haven't seen their parents in a week. They don't tell anybody. The family court finds out, and they find out that their parents are either on the way to overdosing or no longer around. So you'll be saving your brothers, your sisters, your family members' lives if you know that those guys are on, and it's probably going to be meth because it's so cheap right now. You need to get them help. And is letting the authorities know, the police, the teachers, anybody that you can, so that they can intervene and help them. Okay? So I shall conclude at that. Did any of you have any questions? Very good.
All right, let's give Attorney General Moylan another round of applause. Okay. All right, guys. Your school buses are here, and we're just about time for dismissal. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the opportunity to check out the booths in the front and then follow the directions for your teachers. Thank you, everyone, for welcoming us to your school. Great job, Voyagers. Thank you, thank you. Oh, sorry. You guys have to stay there. Hi, Miss Luan.
Let's go ahead and remain seated for a few minutes. Don't worry, I had them hold the bell so that we can have you take an opportunity to see some of the pamphlets they have. But we'd like to thank our Attorney General's office, Honorable Douglas Moylan. Thank you so much for joining us and being here. It's good for our students to see your faces and be able to recognize what they see in the news when they see the Instagram. You can go look for their Instagram. I know they have several postings about their campaigns that they have, but we do appreciate you being here with our students and presenting the valuable information. Okay, and then we thank Ms. Carita for who helped bring them all here for us today. And so we'd like to present you with a certificate. We thank you for being here.
All right, all right, all right. All right, so these people aren't only here for us, they're for the entirety of the island, right? So they're working very diligently to go from school to school to school to school all of the middle schools and the high schools, right? And we always want to show our appreciation, right? These people take time out of their day to care about us, to care about our families, and to help us take care of ourselves. Okay, so we need to show a lot bit of appreciation for today. So yes, we did give Attorney General Moylan, but we also have one for Assistant Chief Prosecutor Grant Olin. Miss Anna Nicole Paris. Thank you. We also have the man in charge, the person that helped communicate with me through this whole thing, Mr. Austin Fortuno. We also have Mr. John Castro. Not Mr. Castro, their own John Castro. Thank you. We have Mr. Eldon Carino. I don't know where he's at. Mr. Eldon in the back. Everybody wave to Mr. Eldon. Hi. Jamie Perry. Mr. Eagle himself. Thank you. And Miss Joanna Richards. Thank you, thank you. And one more big round of applause for everybody that came and helped to participate. Thank you.
I hope some of you want to be lawyers too. Anyone want to be a lawyer? What do you mean, nah? What do you mean, nah? What do you mean, nah? Oh, come on, come on. All right. I hope I don't see any of you in court. Thank you for having us again. Thank you. What's that? You can come up, say hi to the eagle. Eric the eagle. Picture time.
John and Eldon, you guys want to come to the front, take a photo? Yes, yes. Thank you. No need. How we looking, Alana? We're good? All right. All right, Biba Voyagers! All right.